Hi, and welcome to our first in our videos for our computer hardware class. Chapter 1 is an overview of everything and all the chapters to follow. Chapter 1 is testable material, and anything that I go over in these series of Chapter 1 videos should be taken down as notes. If you see something bold and underlined, it especially should be taken down as notes. And if you have any questions at any time, you can stop and email me if we're not in class this time, or raise your hand if we are, to clarify any points that are on there. Also, we have our class forums to ask questions as well as the online chat. Okay, so let's get down and start talking about those basic parts. All those things are inside the case. All those things you will learn how to pull out of your computer, how to put out on the table by the end of the first month. September. By the end of September, you will have at least once taken all the computer parts out of a computer down to everything's apart on a table, and we'll talk about the parts, and then you're going to put them all back together and build the PC just like you would if you were building a brand new one, and it will work. And we'll do that 5 to 10 times this class, so that you hopefully at the end of the class are completely comfortable putting all the pieces of a computer together, being able to identify them so that you could buy all those parts and build your own PC. So we're going to talk individually about these parts as we go here. The first chapter is on power and a power supply. The power supply, or PSU, power supply unit, is what we run a wall cord to that plugs into the wall that gives our internal components, all the things inside of a computer, power. This one picture right here, I can point right there, is the insides of a power supply. And I will tell you, the one thing we will not ever do in this class is get inside a power supply. It has capacitors in there that could shock you and hurt you. It's actually the one piece in the computer, other than the metal ledges themselves that you can easily cut yourself on, like Mr. Poole did, that you could get injured if you got into. So we don't open those. In general, power supplies aren't that expensive to replace, and most people don't try to fix a power supply. They just toss it responsibly and then get a new one if it goes bad. So power supplies convert electricity from the wall outlet, 110 volt AC power, and we'll talk about what the difference between AC and DC power is, to a much lower power called DC, or direct current. So alternating current from our house walls then get turned into direct current, which is what all electrical things, most electrical things use. That's what that little iPhone brick that you have plugs into the wall and does. It turns it from AC power to a low voltage DC power that won't fry your phone. And those volts, you can see I have listed here, it goes from 110 volt AC down to 3.3, 5, and 12 volt DC. So it's much lower. The highest voltage is 1/10 of what comes out of the wall. Everything in the PC gets power from that power supply. Everything in the PC gets power from that power supply, one way or another. It does. And there's a fan on that power supply that, if it stops running, will cause your computer to overheat. Its job is to keep the PC temperature below 185 degrees. 185 degrees is the temperature at which electrical components fail. If the fan doesn't keep it below 185 degrees, and it may be the only fan in your computer, depending on your computer, the power supply always has a fan. The case might have a fan. There's one sitting right over there. All it has is the power supply fan. So if that fan goes out, temperature goes above 185, or in some cases really close to 185, things inside the computer will start to fail. So again, you saw me knock on that one.